Coming up on the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show today,
we're going to talk all about mulch, how to get the right mulch for your garden, what is mulch, all about mulch.
As well as 5 container tips that will help your container garden thrive.
And we'll have author and chicken expert Melissa Caughey.
As well as your garden questions, and that all starts right now. It is the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener on 860 AM WNOV and W293CX 106.5 and through the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, social media apps, the TuneIn app, the Simple Radio app, and wherever else you may be listening. We are live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I am your host, Joy Barrett. Beside me is my wife, co-host, and gardening partner and best friend.
Hi, Bear.
The WisconsinVegetableGardener.com contains 1,100 garden videos for you to learn from, short and long format. There's a number of ways in which you can contact us here on the program over the next hour. One is the 3-in-1 Plant Guard Ivy Organics Hotline.
Ivy Organic is a 3-in-1 plant guard, naturally protects plants against damaging sunburn, insects, and rodents, protects newly installed plants and trees, shields pruned and damaged surfaces for use on your roses, fruit, and nut trees, ornamental trees, and shrubs. This product is non-toxic, environmentally safe, and organic. For more information, you can visit ivyorganics.com, and you can call in anytime during the show at 414-444-5250. So we had a busy week of talks.
Well, first we want to tell them that they can email us as well.
Oh, yeah.
TWVGshow@gmail.com. You can hit us on Twitter at TWVGshow. You can also text, 345-345 to TWVG, something like that, in order to sign up for weekly email. You can just go to the website and do that very simply. But yes, we had a lot of talks this week. We still have a lot of talks. I'm going to welcome people from Campbellsport, because I don't know who's listening or when they're listening, but we were on Mike Novak's show out of Chicago last Sunday morning, and he said, I was listening to your show last Saturday morning, so I don't know where anybody's listening, and I don't know how many,
West Bend, Campbellsport, Brookfield, we were all there this week, and this next week we're going to be...
We had good crowds at all 3 places.
Muskego and Lamira, and then...
we're doing a private Master Garden Talk up in Wausau on Monday. Yeah. Then we go to Muskego
on Tuesday
on growing great tomatoes.
And then we go to
Elmira
on Thursday.
Right. And we're going to talk up there on 10 Common Problems. But we're still got a lot of talks here in the city of Milwaukee that you can certainly visit and see us for free. If you want to know where we will be at, where you might be at, look under the Come See Us tab on the website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. So we're always there. And we will be at Blue Mel's spring kickoff this morning and this afternoon. We'll tell you more about that at the bottom of the hour. So we're going to talk about mulch here. And mulch is a key element to gardening across the board. Now, there are good mulches and there are bad mulches.
Right. So I know, like, if you're new to gardening, or maybe you're not new to gardening.
Let's identify what a mulch is.
Well, that's what I'm going to get into.
All right.
Just calm down.
All right.
Okay, so if you're new to gardening, you might think mulch is what all the people, like the wood chips or the gravelly stones that people put around, like their bushes and whatnot for their landscaping, right? But many people don't realize that mulch is something that can be used in a vegetable garden.
But those are mulches.
Yeah, those are mulches, right? But what I'm saying is that it can be used in a different setting as well with the edibles. So mulch is basically anything that's going to cover the soil and help kind of protect the soil and shield your plants from things that are in the soil.
Right.
And it also kind of smothers the weeds, and in some cases, like when it's around pretty colored wood chips or gravel around bushes, it looks nice too.
Right, and it retains moisture, holds moisture in the ground, doesn't allow it to evaporate as quickly. The thing you want to keep in mind is anything in nature that there's soil underneath the material, anything in nature, woods, prairies, agriculture, or fields that are not tilled up for agricultural use, all have mulches. They all have some type of barrier nature has put on the ground to protect the soil, the microbial life, the soil web. Deserts are exception because it's sand, so it's not really, there's anything for protection there. But yeah, in nature, all things are in good shape when it comes to protecting the soil. So let's talk about types of mulches that we can use in our edible garden.
Okay, so one is that you can use grass clippings, and with that being said, they have to be weed seed free. So say it's been a I guess a couple months since you cut your grass. And
I'll be cutting grass this next week, yeah.
And there's weed seeds in it. You don't want to use that. You also make sure that it hasn't been sprayed with any type of chemical, because and you want to make sure the grass clippings are dry.
Predominantly a weed and feed.
Right,
is
like a weed and feed. Yeah. Right. So
the reason being is
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Calm down. So first, you want to make sure there's no weed seeds, because you're not adding more weeds to your garden. Second, you want to make sure there's no chemicals, because even though you might let those grass clippings dry out, that chemical is still going to bond to the water molecules when it rains, and then it could cause problems and kill your plants.
Even through the composting process.
Even through the composting process as well. So you want to keep that in mind, that grass clippings. And then when you cut your grass, if you bag your grass clippings, then you want to spread them on your driveway or something so they dry out, and then you use them as mulch.
We will let them dry. You don't have to wait until they lose their pigmentation, from a brown. We're not trying to bale up hay here. We just want it to be dry, because if you put wet grass clippings around plants, that can encourage mold and fungal problems to develop, and actually can affect your plants by using that mulch. Now, mulching is 3, 4, 5 inches of dry grass clippings. That's fine. Works great. We saved leaves in our garden from last year. We have the predominant videos you will see on the website.
How many pounds of leaves did you save?
2,000 pounds of leaves. Yeah. I calculated it. Yep, we've talked about that. But we have a lot of leaves. We have a lot of leaves, and that's all going to break down and feed the soil. So if you don't have leaves now, and you maybe don't want to bring in a lot of leaves, you can use straw. Straw is a very good product to use. Oat straw, wheat straw, barley straw. Predominantly what we have around here is wheat straw. And straw is the byproduct of the grain in which it's harvested.
So we did learn something from our talk that we gave, I don't know which one. Campbell Sport.
Yes.
That if you put the straw around your plants, it's obviously good. But if you put it in the walkways of your garden, it becomes quite slippery. Even if it's not wet, because it has that natural waxy type of coating. So you want to keep that in mind, that if you're going to use straw as mulch, keep it on your plants, but if you want something in your walkways, you could try something else.
And we want to avoid cardboard here. Cardboard is another mulch. We had a caller last year call in and say a predominant amount of cardboard is made with formaldehyde. Now, that is part of the embalming process during funeral procedures to preserve the body. That's your call whether or not you want to use it. I don't think there's going to be tonnage of formaldehyde. There are some fertilizers that actually have formaldehyde in them as one of the products that is used to make it.
Right. So
clearly not an organic means of fertilizer, but we have had fertilizers that have had formaldehyde in it. So it's not an uncommon thing in the garden world, but I want to bring that up so we're all aware of it.
Right, definitely. So you want to keep that in mind. You can use shredded paper. If you use shredded paper, you want to make sure you water it down, and it should kind of stick, but it's not. Definitely, it's not.
Multiple layers of newspaper.
Yeah, multiple layers of newspaper.
Fine. You want to avoid the paper that has that glossy film on it that the advertisements. They're straight papers, fine. The ink on those papers are 100%, I think 99.9% soy-based ink, so it does biodegrade. It will go. It's not like an oil-based material. So that's perfectly fine. A lot of people will use that. They'll layer it 5, 6 layers, wet it down, put it around their plants as a barrier. Will break down and not necessarily feed the soil, but retain moisture and suppress weeds. And that's something we always want to do: hold water and keep from weeding as much as possible.
Right. So there's that. That's for the
wood chips. Let's talk about wood chips.
Wood chips are great mulch, especially around your non-edibles, because they look nice. You can use them around your edibles, especially if you're in a raised bed situation.
Or perennials.
Or perennials. But you have to keep in mind that if you mix those wood chips in with the soil, so if you leave them on the top, it's okay. But if you mix them in, then you're starting to have problems, because those wood chips will suck the nitrogen out of your soil.
Yeah, it'll take a couple of years for it to break down, but it will remove a lot of. It will take a little bit of the nitrogen off the surface layer, but not as much as if you would physically dig them in 2 or 3 inches in the ground. Now, there's multiple types of wood chips in which you can use. We were at the Madison Garden Expo a couple of years ago, and one of the things that was brought up by one of the master gardeners, and I forget his name, he is for the University Extension Office, that there are some studies that are being shown that if you get wood chips from a tree that has a disease, Once those chips are shredded up, you bring them in your garden, even a year or two later, that disease is still persistent, and it can kill some of the plants in which you are trying to grow in your garden. So if you're going to get wood chips, try to see, and you're going to use them for your garden, try to see if it's from a tree that's not been diseased, ridden. Now, wood chips work great for like around your asparagus bed, your rhubarb bed, your berry plants, anything like that. It works really, really well. Okay, now let's talk about the synthetic aspect of...
Well, we also want to talk about cocoa mulch.
Cocoa mulch, that's right.
And so cocoa mulch is commonly used, again, with a lot of non-edibles, and there is some... What is it? People say that it causes mold. And the thing is that just like any type of mulch, if you put a lot of it down heavy and you water a lot and it rains a lot, you could get mold. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is, because you're layering natural things on top of natural things, and then you're adding water.
It's breaking down naturally.
And it's breaking down naturally. So if you do cocoa mulch, it does have more of a ability to mold, but you want to make sure that maybe you're not watering too much, or you're watering around the plants versus watering the entire garden. And obviously you can't control that if we have a rainy season, but if you're watering, be mindful of where you're watering.
Right, and there's some mulches that have some dyes in it that they will dye, and sometimes that dye is...
And also, I think cocoa mulch is possibly harmful to dogs. You'd have to
chocolate.
Oh, the chocolate mulch.
It smells. That sometimes some of these mulches have a fragrance that can be toxic to your pets. And if you're concerned about the wildlife, that is something else that you want to do. Now, there is mulches, like rubber tire mulch, shredded rubber mulch. That you'll see that on the playground. Some people choose to use that sometimes around your plants. That's a decision you have. It's not going to break down. Anything synthetic is not going to break down. That's the thing. And then you got your gravels, your pea gravel on that as well. When it comes to, again, you don't want to use your rock gravel around your edible plants.
No, that wouldn't be good.
Because you're going to mix it in. Now, again, you want, and I would advise this with anybody working in the perennial realm of it, the berries, the asparagus, that type, wood chips would be the way to go. Because it's going to break down, feed the soil. Your rocks, your stones, they're not going to feed the soil.
No, I would just keep those to maybe like around your landscaping bushes or whatnot.
Yeah, so the grass clippings, leaves, straw, shredded paper. Again, shredded paper, not the most appealing aspect of it, but it does work. The cardboard may contain some formaldehyde. And the way you would do that would be 1 or 2 layers of the mulch, or 1 or 2 layers of the cardboard, layer it, and then you could put, wet it down and get it to sink into the soil there. Wood chips. So that's some of the mulch. And we're going to talk in the second segment how important it is also for containers. That's what we're going to talk about when we come back. It's all about 5 tips to make your container garden the best container garden, right after this.
24/7, 365. The WisconsinVegetableGardener.com has all the gardening information you need. Videos, digital magazines, replays of shows, and more.
Do you enjoy hanging baskets but struggle to keep them properly watered? The Plant Booster Self-Watering System is a mechanical system that will ensure optimal soil moisture at all times by reacting to the weight of each plant. The weight of each plant tells the system how much water it needs. Unlike a timer-controlled system where all plants get water at the same time, whether they need it or not. Also ideal for condos or apartments with no outdoor water source. Check out details, videos, and extensive explanation and ideas for application at plantbooster.net. I know you're looking for natural and organic food, but at a great price. I found the place. Woodman's has what you need. Woodman's offers a huge natural and organic selection with some of the area's largest organic meat, produce, and dairy departments. Shop consciously, but it won't break the bank. They have aisles of all the organic food, snacks, and treats you've been looking for, so you and your family can eat healthier without overpaying. Visit their Milwaukee area store locations, Kenosha, Menominee Falls, Oak Creek, and Waukesha, or visit woodmans-food.com to find the nearest location to you.
It's that time to get your lawn lush and green with the Chapin spreader, the broadcast spreader that outperforms all in their class. Get consistent results year after year as if you had hired your own professional lawn service. Find Chapin spreaders online or order through your local Home Depot, Lowe's, True Value, or Do It Best hardware stores. To see the full line of Chapin lawn and garden products, go to www.chapinmfg.com. This season, arm yourself with the better spreader, Chapin. The Gardener's Hollow Leg, the debris and harvesting bag you wear, comes with its own belt attachment, perfect for doing light pruning, weeding, harvesting on the ground or on a ladder, and many other uses. Find out more at thegardenershollowleg.com. Save 10% by using the word veggies at checkout. Tall Earth Wood Treatment, all-in-one preservative and stain, offers lifetime protection and creates a unique silver-aged wood finish. All ingredients are non-toxic, eco-friendly, perfect for garden beds and veg truck. Find out more at tallearth.com. Free shipping on all orders. Use coupon code WISCONVEG to save 15% off orders placed at tallearth.com. World Naked Gardening Day? This garden fun pack is sponsored by ManureTea.com. Get your 3-pack today. Drop the tea bag in water, let steep, and feed your soil, not your plants. 100% organic. Find out more at ManureTea.com. Always free shipping. World Naked Gardening Day, an annual event held internationally on the first Saturday in May, founded in 2005. It is about body acceptance and being one with nature. Those who participate in this activity typically do it in secluded areas. The Tree Diaper is an advanced plant hydration system. It is an innovative device that captures and holds the water around your plants once full and hydrates them slowly when the plants need it over a period of 30 days. From half to 30-gallon capacity based on your needs. And easy to install even for a first-time gardener. The Tree Diaper reduces weeds, protects plants, enhances root growth, and prevents overwatering. Whether you're growing trees, vegetables, flowers, houseplants, in containers, or the ground, your plants will benefit greatly by allowing the Tree Diaper to do the work for you. Find out more at treediaper.com. Made in the USA.
An Oya is an unglazed porous clay pot with a short neck and a wider belly. Bury your Oya neck deep in your raised bed, container, or ground garden and let the Oya do your watering by releasing water as needed. How? By soil moisture tension for all you techies out there. This is an eco-friendly, efficient, ancient way to water your plants using up to 70% less water than other irrigation methods. It saves you time and is easy to install. Find a retailer through DrippingSpringsOyas.com. Smart watering, easy gardening.
Blue Mel's Garden and Landscape Center offers an awesome selection of high-quality garden and landscape products. We have just the plants you're looking for: annuals, perennials, veggies, herbs, and more. Plus, you can always count on us to answer all of your questions and offer expert advice. Blue Mel's also carries the largest selection of bulk landscape materials in the area. Enjoy a beverage from our coffee shop while your kids run around in our huge playground. Join our growing list of highly satisfied customers. Visit the garden center that offers everything you're looking for. Visit Blue Mel's today.
Blue Mel's, 4930 West Loomis Road, 414-282-4220. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener is brought to you by the following: Handy Safety Knife, BioSafe, Tall Earth, Chapin International, The Plant Booster, Ivy Organics, Woodman's Market, Blue Mel's Landscape and Garden Center. Find all sponsors at thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com and thank them for their support.
Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show with your hosts, Joey and Hallie Baird.
Purple Cow Organics helps growers quickly and naturally increase the uptake of nutrients, water in their plants with their new bioactive vegetable supercharger, designed to meet the unique growing needs of vegetables plants by helping living organisms in your soil to help your plants to absorb nutrients more quickly through the roots and leaves. Find out more at purplecow.com.
So we're going to talk about 5 container garden tips to help your container succeed this year. Many people may not have the availability to have a garden in the ground or a raised bed, and maybe you just have a patio porch deck in which you have a number of containers on it.
Or maybe that's all you want.
That's all you want, or all you feel you can handle. So we're going to go over 5. We got 6 here. So you get a bonus one for free of tips that how you can improve your container garden. So let's go with number 1 here, Holly.
So you want to get a container that is the right size for the plant you're growing. There's many different sizes of containers. People will ask me, what's a simple container that I can get that I can grow a tomato plant in? And my answer is always a 5-gallon bucket.
With drainage.
With drainage. And that's the important thing, is that you have to think about where that but the drainage. You don't want to flood your plants. You want to have it so that the water can come out.
Now, if you want a really eye-pleasing grow bag, rootmaker.com has them between 1 and 60 gallons. They have they're porous. The water will go through, and they'll air prune the roots. You don't have to worry about drainage. And they are from a few dollars to $20 or $30 based on the size.
And the 60-gallon grow bag, that's about 3 feet across. So you can fit a lot in there. Now, again, going back to the size of your container and what you're growing, you typically wouldn't grow lettuce in a 60-gallon grow bag. You could grow lettuce has shallow roots, so you could grow lettuce in just a smaller container. You could take a 1-gallon milk carton or water carton or jug, I guess, and just cut the base around that and have about 3 to 4 inches, and you could grow lettuce in that. So you have to kind of think about what's underneath the soil as well.
But the smaller amount of soil you have in that container, the quicker it will dry out. Now, lettuce can be grown on a windowsill with a couple of inches of soil, but you're going to have to water it more frequently if you have a very thin layer or 1 or 2 inches of soil in that container versus 5 or 6. It's just physics on that. So you want a container. And if you're doing a 5-gallon bucket with the drainage, here's what you want to do. You want to put holes, either one in the bottom, and either you can do it simply by drilling holes or puncturing them with a nail or cracking the bottom of the bucket, or you can actually come up 1 inch or 2 inches around the side of the bucket and drill multiple holes, and then that actually acts as a water reservoir that wicks the water back up. It'll drain, if you get too much water, it'll drain out those holes that are 1 to 2 inches up the side, but that 1 to 2 inch basin actually holds water and it will wick it back up, kind of like a miniature self-watering container.
Yeah.
So that's another way to do it. Also, if you're doing plants like eggplant, for example, if you can get a black container, they love root heat. The hotter the root, 95, 100 degrees, they love it. As long as you can keep the moisture to it, they'll flourish. So we've grown them in the Root Maker has some molded containers that are black, and they love those containers because they absorb the heat. We keep them moist. They do phenomenal.
So you want also a good potting mix. You want to make sure you're planting in something that's good, nutrient rich for your plants. You don't want to take the soil from your garden because, one, you don't know if that's nutrient rich. Also, it could have weed seeds or it could be compacted. We grow our onions and carrots exclusively in portable raised beds, which is a container type situation because we can fill it with that compost and it's nice and loose and has a good loam and it allows for those root crops to grow successfully.
Right, just like you heard, Purple Cow has a great line of...
Yeah, they have a really nice potting soil mix. It's scientifically formulated so your plants are ready to pick up those nutrients. It's great for all types of containers, and it's environmentally friendly because it contains an organic fertilizer that's not a petroleum base.
Right. Also, proper amount of light. If you're growing tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, cucumbers, you need them in full sun. If you're growing leafy greens or cabbage or herbs or something, partial shade, 4 to 6 hours on those partial shade vegetables, 3 to 4 hours on the herbs will be just fine.
Right.
Consistent
watering, and that's huge. Is that, as Joey mentioned before, smaller container, the more you have to water it. That's something that you definitely have to keep in mind. Even if you have a larger container, once we get to those hotter portions of the summer, the longer parts of the day where the containers will dry out faster, sometimes you might have to water in the morning and the evening. So you need to be mindful. You need to think of your containers all the time.
And Plant Booster, one of the sponsors, it's a self-watering system that's not a plug-in thing. It's all gravity fed, and you set sensors underneath the containers or in the basket, and when it needs the water, it pulls it from the reservoir, so it works out really good. And that's plantbooster.com. Phenomenal invention in which can save your containers so you don't have to water as frequently or if you forget.
One thing we have here is nutrients, and that's important because like we had said, you want to use a good compost or a good potting soil in your containers, but throughout the season, as you're watering them, some of those nutrients are going to wash away. So leach out. Halfway through the season, you want to give it a nice boost with either granular fertilizer or liquid fertilizer, compost tea, and just kind of feed your plants or feed the soil, and that will feed your plants.
And you want to be aware of this prior to the plant showing you symptoms. You can do a regular feed every week, a compost tea, a manure tea, just to continue to feed the soil to feed the plant. And as we talked about in the first segment, mulch. You can mulch your containers with shredded leaves, dry grass clippings, chemical-free grass clippings, any type of straw, any type to hold, because the container, again, is a smaller unit. And by holding that moisture in, it's going to keep the plant happier because it's going to have the water, and it's not going to dry out. A dried out plant is a stress plant. You're already destroying the cells in the plant, and then you've got an injured plant in which you're trying to revive to give you produce.
And just like any gardening problem you have, if your plants are healthy, they're going to fight off bad things a little bit easier than if your plant is not healthy or it's been stressed out. It does damage the cell walls of the plants if you're not consistently keeping that plant healthy.
Absolutely. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk all about chickens with author Melissa Caughey right after this.
Got a question? Email the show at twvgshow@gmail.com.
Do you have a problem with deer or small herbivores eating your vegetation? There is a natural solution that is safe for your pets and family. Bobex is the answer. An environmentally friendly solution to protect your plants, will not wash off, and is guaranteed. Bobex Deer was independently tested against 9 known competitors and rated 93% effective, second only to a physical barrier. Bobex can be used on all types of ornamentals, trees, and shrubs. Ask for it by name at your local independent garden center. Find out more, visit bobex.com. BOBBEX.com. Eco Garden Systems is a revolutionary way to grow food. A fully contained raised platform with a conventional watering system. Solar power unit optional. Made from recycled material in the U.S., Eco Garden Systems raised garden bed offers sustainable organic gardening that is environmentally sound, quick and easy to set up, maintain, and fun to use. Fill your garden with soil and plant your seeds. Your Eco Garden will take care of the rest. Can set up in backyard, patio, and even your driveway. Any level surface. For more information, visit EcoGardenSystems.com. Use coupon code WIVEG125 to save $125 and get free shipping. A $250 value on the purchase of an Eco Garden Original Garden Unit, available only in stone color. Purchases must be made through the website EcoGardenSystems.com/store. Offer valid through December 31st, 2018. Available to the contiguous United States.
Beans and Barley Market and Cafe, a neighborhood specialty grocery store for the east side and greater Milwaukee area, where you can find all you need, from fresh produce to bakery to organic frozen dinners, from wine to fresh squeezed carrot juice. A health food store with hundreds of products, vitamin supplements, bath and body items, magazines, cards, books, and a knowledgeable staff. Catering available, open daily at 8 a.m. The restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week with a menu of good, healthy, homemade food, including vegetarian and non-vegetarian specialties. 1901 East North Avenue, Milwaukee, 414-278-7878, and online at beansandbarley.com.
Shield and Seal Vacuum Sealers and the highest quality vacuum sealing products. Unique black and clear and all black bags, protecting your produce and product better than traditional bags. Find out more at shieldandseal.com. Zaz Products, offering great quality supplements that can help personal health and increase longevity. Committed to bringing you the highest quality products at the lowest price. Find out more at zazproducts.com. Rebel Green, responsibly made natural products that are good for you and the environment. Made in the USA, plant-based, vegan, and always toxic-free. Find out more at rebelgreen.com.
Hoss Tools wants to help you grow your own food. From seed starting supplies, hand tools, drip irrigation, harvesting equipment, and a complete line of all-natural pest control solutions, they've got you covered. Keep your garden weed-free with their time-tested, American-made wheel hose that are built to last a lifetime. And their precision garden seeders have proven design for planting a wide variety of seeds. Hoss Tools has what you need to get the most out of your growing space, large or small. Free shipping and outstanding customer service. Shop online or request a free catalog at HossTools.com.
I know you're looking for an alternative to harsh chemicals, but you want professional strength products. BioSafe's garden line gives you just that. Professionally used for 20 years, available to homeowners. Organic solutions that are effective. They offer an array of eco-friendly products, from plant food, fertilizer, to one-of-a-kind herbicides, organic weed killer. BioSafe's products can be used around children, pets, wildlife, so you can enjoy your yard more. Grow stronger, healthier with BioSafe. Find us on Facebook at BioSafe Home and Garden, and visit us at biosafe.net to learn more. Get 10% off your next purchase at biosafe.net by using coupon code TWVG at checkout. The number one key to healthy, productive plants are the roots. Starting from seed to full-grown plants, Rootmaker.com has the answer. From seed starting trays with an innovative design that air prunes the roots, creating a fabulous root system, never again will you have root-bound plants, to multiple gallon grow bag sizes to raised beds. Rootmaker.com has your grow needs covered. Visit rootmaker.com. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show is brought to you by the following: Flame Engineering, Eco Garden Systems, Bobex, Plant Success, Beans and Barley, M.I. Gardener, Outpost Natural Food Co-op, Root Assassin, Manure Tea, The Gardener's Hollow Leg. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support.
Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show.
You're either listening to this show for a couple of reasons. One, you're either a gardener, you want to be a gardener, you know somebody who's a gardener, or you accidentally picked up a gardening magazine at your local dentist office. So you're one of those people.
With your hosts, Joey and Hallie Baird.
It is May 5th, which means it's Blue Mel's official spring kickoff. And what can we expect? We're going to be out there 11 to about 1. We'll have the little banners up. You'll see us. Come over, say hi.
You can take a look at their awesome plant selection.
They got all those in, yep.
They'll be relaunching their Blue Mel Bucks program, where you get one Blue Mel Bucks for every $10 you spend, and then you can use it the following week. You can meet the team of their garden, lawn, and landscape experts.
You got a question, you're going to get an answer.
They have prize drawings. They're going to have, let's see here. What else do they have? They have the coffee shop. They were voted the best garden center, best coffee shop, and best landscaper of 2017.
Thanks to you.
And thanks to you, you can meet me and Joey, and it'll be a fun time. So come on out.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
Where is this all taking place at, Holly?
That's a good question. It's at 4930 West Loomis Road in Greenfield, so it's just south of Layton, on the west side of the street on Loomis Road.
If you got kids, bring them on out. They've got an enclosed giant playground with that rubber matted stuff, so your kids are not going to get hurt. Phenomenal facility. You can let them play. You can look at the plants. You can get coffee and have a good time. So a great day for it. Well, Holly, another great thing that we can do is bring in our guest on the IIV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard Hotline.
Yeah, Melissa Caughey is a backyard chicken keeper, beekeeper, and gardening who writes the award-winning blog Tilly's Nest. She lives in Cape Cod, Mass. with her family, and she contributes to a number of magazines, and it was her blog's won some awards. And she's has some great books on how to speak chickens, why do your chickens do what they do and say what they say, and a kid's guide to keeping chickens. Welcome to the program, Melissa.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I grew up on a farm, and we had hogs and cattle, so I don't know a thing about chickens, so you're going to educate all of us on this deal. So I want to start with, if we can raise chickens, and based on if you're in Milwaukee or wherever you may be listing, you want to make sure the municipality that you're living in allows you to have the chickens. So if that all checks out, based on the number of chickens and no roosters and all that, what are two aspects of chicken keeping that most people overlook or not even consider?
I think that one of the things that people overlook would be definitely that chickens don't require a lot of space. So even people who live in more urban areas can keep chickens. So that's really a neat thing. The other thing that people don't realize is that chickens have personalities, just like dogs or cats.
Well, then that's where the pecking order comes from, isn't it? They know who's in charge and who's secondary and who listens to who.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about personalities, like you and I have different personalities, even though, we have hierarchies at work and things like that. We still all have different personalities. Some of us are funny, some of us are more serious, some of us are more dramatic. So in addition to having that pecking order, somebody's always got to be the boss, and somebody's always got to be the little man or little bird on the totem pole, so to speak. But that's kind of where it all starts, really. From the day they're just little chicks in the brooder, they start figuring out who's who.
Great. So when starting your chicken journey for a newbie, is it best to start with chicks or with adult chickens? What's ideal?
Well, I don't think that you can really go wrong. Certainly there are some benefits to getting older chickens, Chickens start laying eggs when they're about 18 weeks old to 20 weeks old. So if you want eggs right away, you might consider getting some older chicks. The other thing you might want to think about is that sometimes they don't require as much care as babies would in the beginning, chicks, but they grow really fast. But if you're interested in getting very tame chickens that become more like pets, don't mind being handled or interacted with, and aren't skittish of you, then I would recommend starting out with chicks. But either way, getting people into chickens, you can't go wrong.
Well, you said 18 to 20 weeks is when these chickens, if you get them from a chick, can begin laying eggs. How long can we expect, and how many, like, I guess it's specific to breed, how much can we expect during the year or years before the chicken is pretty much gone through its laying egg cycle?
Oh, that's a great question, and one that people should probably be aware of, so I'm super glad that you asked it. So the chickens will start laying those eggs, like I said, 18 to 20 weeks of age, and they're most productive during their first 2 years, of their lifetime. And then it starts to taper down. But I have chickens that are 4 years old that are still laying eggs quite regularly. And based on the breeds of the birds, you get different amounts of eggs. So some chickens will lay, on average, 3 eggs a week, where some will lay 5 eggs a week. And those are ways when you would want to research breeds. Like Australorps are really strong egg layers. Leghorns are also breeds that lay about 5 eggs per week. And then there's some chickens that really don't lay too many eggs at all. They're more decorative breeds like Polish hens or silky bantams, but they make great pets. But overall, chickens live approximately 5 to 7 years if they live out their natural lives. But mostly when they're about 6 years old, they completely stop.
So that then goes to the question: after the chicken has done its egg laying cycle, what happens? What do you do? What are your options?
Well, for me, there's really only one option that I do, and that's keep a chicken nursing home.
Okay.
Because they become pets, and they're friends to my family and my other animals, my dog and the neighbors, because my chickens do like to wander around. But certainly, people are faced with the choice of some people will sell them at 2 weeks of age. And some people will actually choose to harvest them and eat them. But the meat is quite tough at that age. The birds that you're getting in the supermarket for consumption are approximately only 6 to 8 weeks of age.
Well, let's talk about the eggs here, because we go to the grocery store, we see all white eggs. Now, when you go to the farmer's market, you can see a modge-podge of different color eggs: brown, light, gray, green. Why is that compared to the commercial? Why are we seeing different color eggs?
Well, the different colored eggs are based on the different chicken breeds that you're keeping. Every different breed lays a different color egg. And I think for many, many years, the grocery industry just assumed we wanted to see everything to be uniform, same size, same shape, same color. And I think we're moving away from that trend, more so with farmers markets, and a lot of the local grocers where I live are now starting to carry different colored eggs. And some people are even paying quite a premium price, even though there's no difference as to what is in the egg based on the color. The nutritional value of the egg is based on the chicken's diet.
Great. So basically, how much space does one chicken need? So kind of how do you decide? I know, like, in the city of Milwaukee, you can only have so many chickens. But say you have a larger yard, like, is it 4 square feet or what's ideal?
Yeah, so, Wisconsin is a place that has weather and gets snow, so I always think that it's important that you build a chicken coop. That's the house portion, where the chickens will hang out in bad weather or cold weather. They need about approximately 4 square feet in that coop for each bird. So keeping that in mind, there's an outside portion of the chicken area called the run, and that is where it's a fenced-in area, sometimes covered, sometimes most people will put hardware cloth on it. It's much safer than the chicken wire, but that spacing, the bigger the better per bird. And overall, chickens need approximately 10 square feet per chicken.
Well, and then if we're going to get chickens, we need to have at least 2, right? Because they get lonely, they actually do get depressed, and the egg production does fall off. Is this correct?
Yes, you're 100% right. So I always tell people a good number of chickens to start with is 4 to 6 for a family. You'll get about 2 dozen eggs per week.
Now, let's talk about the finance aspect of this.
Sure.
Like, obviously, it depends on the chicken, the feed, the cost, but how much are we looking at per chicken per year? Obviously, you're going to have to wait a little time to get the investment back that you put in with the chicken coop and the feed and all this, but what can we expect on investment?
Well, baby chicks are not that expensive. Once you get them immunized and everything else, if you get them at a feed store or whatnot, under a chicken, you can order them online as well. So you're looking at anywhere from $2 a chick to $7 or $8 a chick. And then the feed comes in all different size bags. But I have 12 chickens right now, and I go through like 35 pounds of feed a month. And that feed bag is organic. So the organic is a little bit more expensive, but you can usually get a 50-pound bag of feed for about $20.
Okay.
So it's not really that expensive when you think about it. I don't know how much you're paying for a dozen eggs there, but in Massachusetts, it's around, $4 to $7 a dozen.
For the organic eggs?
For the organic eggs,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Here it's about $3.
Sorry, I'm sorry. No.
Sorry. So
how much do you guys? What were you saying?
It's about $3 a dozen for organic eggs, depending, $3 to $4. So
yeah, the colorful ones get the $7, and they tend to come out around holidays. But mostly getting back to what we were talking about. The most expensive thing that you're going to have to be faced with is making the chicken coop and the run. That's the most expensive part. But once that's done, and there are so many fabulous chicken coops that are made from upcycling or just creating something really from nothing, old pallets, scrap materials that you find from other projects or salvaging things. So the sky's the limit with what you can create. And then for those people who aren't really handy, there's prefabricated, pre-made coops out there that are for sale online or local feed stores, or I think even the local, like the big warehouse stores are starting to carry chicken coops.
Great. Now, where can people find your books, and what is something we may find surprising in your newest book on how to speak chicken, why your chickens do what they do and say what they say, without, giving too much away?
Oh, sure. Well, thank you so much. Well, people can come and find me at tillysnest.com, and I have signed books there, and the books are available online and a lot of your favorite bookstores. And then something surprising from the latest book. I think people are surprised mostly that you can fall in love with chickens. They fall in love with keeping them, and really they do find a place in your heart.
Well, Melissa, we greatly appreciate you coming on the program, sharing your knowledge with all of us about how we can keep chickens in an urban setting and what we need to know as beginners in this procedure.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. And when we come back, your garden questions and our garden answers right after this.
If you have a gardening question, now is the time to call in on the ivorganics.com 3-in-1 Plant Guard hotline at 414-444-5250.
Pomona's Universal Pectin is high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar, honey, or any alternative sweetener you'd like. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Available at most natural food stores and online.
Wouldn't you love to get more from your growing space? By utilizing the square foot garden method and properly spacing your plants, Seeding Square will optimize and organize your veggie garden to grow more greens and less weeds. The square-foot, color-coded seed spacer is a great tool for any garden, ground container, or raised bed, and all experience levels, even little green thumbs. For more information, visit seedingsquare.com. Seeding Square is gardening made simple.
Mycorrhizae is a beneficial fungus from Plant Success Organics.com that will greatly increase your plant's germination ability and healthier root structure. You can increase seed sprouting, root growth, and general plant germination. Mycorrhizae can be used with hydroponic root cutting, seed sprouting, cocoa coir, and soil. Plant Success Organics.com carries powder, granule, and tablet form of mycorrhizae. Increase the level of mycorrhizae in your soil to give your plant the optimal opportunity to produce incredible harvests. For more information and to purchase, visit PlantSuccessOrganics.com.
Flame Engineering, home of the Weed Dragon, the perfect propane torch kit for home and garden use. For killing weeds, no need to pull or spray. 100 other uses. Find out more at flameengineering.com. Root Assassin, a garden tool that does all the root functions with its advanced shovel that has serrated edges on both sides. Find out more information at rootAssassinShovel.com. Garden seeds do not have to cost a fortune, just 99 cents at migardener.com. Now with over 450 varieties of non-GMO, heirloom, and organic flower, vegetable, and herb seeds available year-round, pay less and get more seeds. Shipping as low as $2.50. That just makes sense. Go to migardener.com for seeds and garden needs, tools, and special blend fertilizers. migardener.com. It's that simple. Family owned and operated.
Here at Outpost Natural Foods, it's not just that we're community-owned that sets us apart. It's the fabulous foods we sell. We celebrate Earth Day every day by offering our customers the finest natural and organic food selections in Greater Milwaukee. Outpost local farmers and vendors provide our stores with a delicious selection of fresh seasonal produce that you won't want to miss. Outpost stores are located in Milwaukee, Wauwatosa, Bayview, and Mequon. We're a real Milwaukee original where anyone can shop and anyone can join. For the whole scoop about Outpost, we invite you to visit www.outpost.coop.
Blue Mel's Garden and Landscape Center offers an awesome selection of high-quality garden and landscape products. We have just the plants you're looking for: annuals, perennials, veggies, herbs, and more. Plus, you can always count on us to answer all of your questions and offer expert advice. Blue Mel's also carries the largest selection of bulk landscape materials in the area. Enjoy a beverage from our coffee shop while your kids run around in our huge playground. Join our growing list of highly satisfied customers. Visit the garden center that offers everything you're looking for. Visit Blue Mel's today.
Blue Mel's, 4930 West Loomis Road, 414-282-4220. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show is brought to you by the following: Haas Tools, Tree Dyker, Root Maker, Seeding Square, Rebel Green, Dripping Springs Oyas, Zaz Products, Shield and Seal, Pomona Universal Pectin. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support.
To the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show.
And you're absolutely right about the tomatoes. Next to a very good woman, tomatoes come in a close second.
With your hosts, Joey and Holly Baird.
Always welcome for your questions on the IV Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard Hotline. If you've got a question, we've got a few minutes at the top of the hour, you can certainly give us a ring. IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard Hotline naturally protects your plants from damaging sunburn, rodents, and
insects. Rodents protects newly installed plants and trees. Shields prune to damaged surfaces for use on your roses, fruit and nut trees, ornamental trees, and shrubs. This product is non-toxic, environmentally safe, and organic. For more information, you can visit ivorganics.com. You can call in right now on our hotline at 414-444-5250.
We had a number of questions coming this week: social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and email. Michelle, this was on Twitter, and I'm starting my first vegetable garden properly this year, and your video planning your plot was a super and very helpful. Thank you, Holly and Joy, for the video. Well, you're quite welcome. We have a number of videos. We have over 1,100 on the website, and if you search a topic, you probably will find something in that category if it's vegetable garden related.
Brian asks, when you add leaves as mulch, doesn't its decomposition take away the nitrogen from the soil? That is not true. The nitrogen is not being taken away from the leaves. technically it is nitrogen.
Nitrogen is not, it's not robbing the soil of nitrogen when you mix the leaves.
No. So what leaves are carbon-based. So if you're thinking about carbon
going down
versus,
to the element, what is the table of elements?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just going to enhance your soil. It's also when you add that natural things like leaves to your soil, it's also going to attract more worms, and the worms will help aerate your soil, mix the nutrients around, things like that. So no, it's not gonna take nitrogen away from the soil. Now, if your soil is poor in nitrogen and you add leaves and you're thinking it's going to boost the nitrogen, that's not the case. You would want to mix in something like coffee grounds, which will help increase the nitrogen in your soil.
Right, and you can mix the leaves in. You can shred the leaves to get them to break down quicker, or what we do is just layer them on top of the soil and use them as a mulch, and as they break down, you remove the leaves off. We have 6 to 8 inches of leaves. You remove them back. There's worms underneath there, actually on soil level, under the with the leaves above it. So they will come. Desiree asked, one of my neighbors feeds their birds, and my other neighbor complains that the birds eat off the flowers of their cucumbers. Is this true? Do the birds eat flowers? If true, how can we prevent this? I want to live peacefully with my neighbors here in Zone 7B, New York City.
Well, that sounds like a neighbor battle. Birds will eat the flowers off your cucumbers. A lot of times the reason why they're eating the flowers off your cucumbers is because they are hungry. So if the birds like your garden for some reason, they start eating the flowers off your cucumbers, you might want to give them some seed or whatever type of bird you have. Some birds, as we learned, don't eat seed. They eat worms or fruit or like dried raisins or whatnot. So you want to feed the birds, and that will help prevent that. You can also, when the plant is flowering, and get some type of bird netting, and the plant will flower successfully without the birds eating it.
Our recommendation: give the birds something else to eat rather than the flowers on the plant. Can you plant an indeterminate tomato in a container with success, Holly? And if so, do you have varieties in which you would recommend? I've grown tomatoes in the past. I have grown brandywines, Old German, Romas, as well as grape varieties. Thank you for any advice you can provide.
Yeah, you certainly can. You can grow an indeterminate tomato. You just want to make sure that tomatoes will have roots that grow up to about 12 inches, especially the indeterminate varieties.
Well, and the thing is, if the plant is needing nutrients, they're going to venture out. You're going to have a giant root system. If it's in a container with good compost and potting mix and fertilizer, the root system is going to be very, very tiny because it doesn't need to search for nutrients.
Right. So that's exactly it. So you have to make sure that it's going to be nutrient rich. So yeah, you can definitely grow it in a container, but you just want to make sure you're putting a nice, good potting soil in there. There's different types of varieties of indeterminate tomatoes. We find, what is it, the black crims?
Black crims, mainly cherry varieties are indeterminate varieties on those. So you just want to, 10-gallon grow bag or a 5-gallon bucket. That's your 2 realms. Grow bags are measured differently than gallons and buckets. Let's see here. I'm going to begin getting my canning supplies for the year. Why canning salt versus other salts when canning?
So pickling salt, canning salt, or sometimes it's called preserving salt, is pure granulated salt. It's the pure sodium chloride. It does not contain anti-caking ingredients like table salt does. So that can turn your pickles quickly. So that's why you want to use that pure canning salt.
And the discoloration, does it affect the flavor or not? It can, but it's not. It's recommended for the.
I don't know. I just know that you want to use the pickling or the canning salt.
All right, Becca asked, can you please explain what hardening off your plants mean? Absolutely. At this time of year, many of us are transitioning our plants from indoor growing systems to outdoor in the garden. You need to harden them off, which means to get them acclimated to the outdoor ambient temperature and the intensity of the sunlight. The intensity of the sunlight is much greater than the grow lights or even the windowsill that you have your plants setting on. Typically, if you buy your plants at a garden center like Blue Mel's, you will not have to harden them off. Those have been hardened off already. But if you are transitioning from indoor plants that you started or bought and brought indoors to keep them warm until you're ready to take them outside, you're going to have to acclimate them, harden them off. So, here's how you do this. It may be more difficult for others, but I'm going to give you the general rule and you can kind of tweak it to the best way it works for you. You bring your plants out day one, put them in shade. assuming that the ambient temperature is at a correct level. It's, 60s, 70s. It's not 30 or 35 degrees. Okay, we got to be smart about this. Put them in the shade for an hour or two. Let them kind of adapt to the ambient temperature. Bring them inside. You can fidget at the time. You can look this up online, see what works best for you. The next day, you take them out for, instead of 1 hour, maybe 2.5 hours. And gradually progress throughout the week over a 7 to 10 day period. And by the end of that 7 to 10 day period, you're going to have the plants acclimated to the outdoor temperature and the sunlight, where you gradually move them out of the shade into full sun. If you just put them out in the garden, one, the soil temperature is going to be much too cold for them at that initial time. By acclimating them, they'll adjust to the soil temperature compared to what they were inside. And then putting them in direct sunlight, you're going to get sun scald, they're going to turn white, they're going to get sunburn, and they're going to die. So you want to harden your plants off correctly. And there's a number of ways in which to do it, but for the plant's sake, you've put all this time and effort and time into it. Harden them off correctly so you can not kill them whenever it's time to go in the garden. Let's talk about peppers for a minute. Last year, I had black spots on my peppers, and it seemed to spread down the row. What could this be? Could be a number of things here. Several fungal diseases can cause black spots and even yellow spots on your red peppers. Now, all peppers will eventually change to a bright color. A green pepper is an unripened pepper. So if you allow it to sit on the vine long enough, it will change a red, a yellow, color and other colors there. Some are more bred to create that pigmentation quicker on the vine than just a traditional green pepper. So let's establish that. Anthracnose is one of the most common fungal diseases. This disease causes black or brown spots, even lesions on the fruit. The lesions are often sunken in and may have a pale pink to orange center in them, so it's a very unpleasant looking thing. Wet rot or conifer blight is another cause of black growth, similar and also can wrinkle the fruit as well as the leaves. The plants can become stunted. They can even die from this. In most cases, there is no known cure in order to prevent this. Infected with the fungal disease, there are some ways to minimize the risk. Now, when I say try to avoid overhead watering, that seems counterintuitive because it rains, that type of thing. But if you can prevent some of that on your end, that's going to help avoid spreading the disease if you have it. Now, if you have the disease or you've had something similar to what I've just described here, move your plants to a different location. Try to keep them out of that spot for 2 or 3 years. If at all possible, if you're in a container and this occurs, get rid of that soil, put fresh compost, fresh potting mix in there, and go that route. That will greatly reduce the possibility of enduring the problems. And if you have diseases or fungal problems on the actual fruit, it's really best not to eat it, whether it's bean rust on the beans, whether it's this problem with the peppers, that type of thing. Blossom end rot on tomatoes, just make your own judgment call, but I wouldn't recommend eating anything of that nature that has a problem with it. We are out of time, and we appreciate yours. Join us next week, Programming Note, when we are going to discuss how you can grow great tomatoes in your garden, as well as capturing rainwater. Should you, can you, and what to know before you do that. And author and good friend from Nova Scotia, Canada, Nikki Jabora, will be with us. Miss any portion of this program or want to revisit it in its entirety, you can find that on the radio tab at the website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, where full-length in-studio video and podcasts can be found. Want an individual interview or specific topic? You can find that underneath the highlight tab on the main page at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. Till next week, for Holly Baird, I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.
You've been listening to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show. Tell a friend and join Joy and Holly again next week so we can all grow together. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show is a production of the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com in association with WI Garden Media, broadcast live from the WNOV 860 AM and the W293CX 106.5 FM Courier Communication Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.